Don't worry, we're not starting the countdown over. We're not starting the countdown over. Ignore that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dalescenter. I'm your host, Dale Tanhart. Yes, I know, football has taken over the world, as it always does. I've had a great time enjoying it. I know you probably have too. And we're here for Texas bets ahead of the weekend. Only two races. We got Xfinity and we got Cup. I think Netflix is running also. But unfortunately, the Netflix racing community hates me so much, they don't respond to me when I ask them to come on my show. That's okay. I don't blame them. But I think Netflix racing is in Singapore. Is that correct? Anybody know that? I think Netflix racing, aka Formula One, is in Singapore. But down in Fort Worth, Texas, we have the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Cup Series at Texas Motor Speedway. After what was a fun weekend at Bristol, I got to watch Dale Jr. almost revive my hopes and dreams that I had as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, and I think Dale Jr. is going to win Homestead. If you hadn't seen it, go ahead, check it out on the other Garage Guys YouTube, the non-betting YouTube for entertainment, driver interviews, blog type shit, whatever you want to call it. Check out my piece on Dale Jr., 3 reasons why he will win another NASCAR race before he calls it quits. And then over on the dailydownforce.com, be sure to check out everything going on the website, including my blogs, second week of my blogs, the Only Dales blogs, and then the video I just talked about. It's all Only Dales. And your name doesn't have to be Dale, by the way. If you're a race fan, you're kind of a Dale at heart. I'm a Dale, you're a Dale. We're all Dales together. This is Only Dales. Check that out on the Garage Guys YouTube channel and the dailydownforce.com for that, Garage Guys merch, and much, much more NASCAR content created by fans for fans. I think that's the motto. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. But welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys back again. Who's all in my chat? Who's all in the chat? I get it. Look, football has taken over. Doesn't mean you have to be quiet. You can talk, say what you want. Matt Jones, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. People, let me know, what do you like this weekend? Who we betting on? What are you thinking? Xfinity at Texas. I call it god-awful Texas. If you don't agree with me, I don't know how you couldn't agree with me, I'll be honest with you. Don't know how you could watch Texas since whatever the repave was, 2017, 2018, and think that it is a quality racetrack. Severe lack of intelligence went into that reconfiguration. Severe lack of intelligence. Shockingly severe lack of intelligence. I dress up in bubble goggles, a Braves helmet, winter gloves as a race car driver, a pretend race car driver, and I have to be smarter than the people that created the idea for that reconfiguration, or at least the people who executed the idea for the reconfiguration, right? That's just facts. AZ Matty B, Germ Boy, Hammer the 12, like that. I like the sound of that. We've already done that, actually. In the link below here, there's 800 links to our sponsors, our affiliates, everybody we work with, and all of our social media outlets to see all my NASCAR Cup Series bets with specific unit allocations. Click the link that says Dale's Picks over to the Action Network, and that is where you see, or where you would see, that I've already got some money on my guy Ryan Blaney, arguably one of the most consistent drivers at Texas Motor Speedway over the past 4 to 5 years. We're talking Ryan Blaney. Doesn't matter what package we've had. He's done it with the Wood Brothers, run well. He's done it with the high-speed, low downforce intermediate package that we had until 2019. He's done it with the shit package that we had from 2019 to 2021 on the intermediate racetracks. And he's done it with the Gen 7 with a win in the All-Star race and other good runs, all mixed in, regardless of what package he's been running. Ryan Blaney will be talked about several times on this show, on this program. He's in the playoffs. He made the top 12. Now trying to punch his ticket to the round of 8, while his teammate Joey Logano was eliminated, and his other teammate Austin Cindric is unwell with the kind of season he's had. I kind of feel bad. I honestly, I kind of feel like we may have like really cursed him. I didn't mean to like curse Austin Cindric. He's been on the Dead to Dale slot for a really long time. I actually took him off at one point this year to try to, because I was betting on him in qualifying or for top Ford. I was thinking, hey, let's get the juju back on my mortal nemesis, Austin Cindric. Has not worked. It's been a tough year. So Penske in a bad spot outside of where Ryan Blaney is and where Ryan Blaney can be in his pursuit for his first NASCAR Cup Series championship. He's right there in the thick of it as we start the next round of the playoffs, which is a really fun round. You leave Texas, you go to Talladega, you go to the Roval. This round is very entertaining. And I have a little bit, very slight faith that if we don't have the tire explosions that we had last year in this race, I've got some faith that the race could be okay. Gen 7 is good on the intermediates. We never even got to really feel out how the racing would be in the All-Star race or this race last year because there's so many tire issues that caused crashes, disruptions in green flag racing. So if we have fixed that problem, I was really worried about it for Bristol as well. Didn't have the problem at Bristol, thank God. I thought the racing was pretty good. If that continues here, because I know there's a new tire compound, if you guys know all the details about the tire compound, feel free to share with us, everybody in the chat. I don't know all the details. I don't remember who all tested. If you guys know that information, spread it in the Dalescenter chat. I'm watching, I'm reading, and we can help each other out here on this program tonight before we get into the weekend practice and qualifying ahead on Saturday. So, no tire problems. I'm hopeful that we see a decent race, right? That's kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And it starts with the NASCAR Xfinity Series odds courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook until it becomes ESPN Bet, whenever the fuck that's going to happen. It still has not happened yet. People have forgotten all about Barstool. I use it. It works. I've won money. I've lost my retirement fund on other bets. And in this case, right out the gate, we're going to be betting the retirement fund on John Hunter Nemechek. He's had excellent success here. Could have won this race last year when he was in that number 18 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Crashed, wadded up the field on a restart, battling for the lead. That's what Texas does. If you drift up too high, you make one little slip up, and you get out of the main groove at Texas, you're just basically on ice. And that's what happened if you go back and watch this race in 2022. I think John Hunter had the car to beat at that time and made a mistake at the midway. I think at 130 laps in or something like that. Made a big mistake, crashed the field, crashed himself. But he has won here. He did win here driving the number 54 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing back in 2021. This has been a good track for him in the Xfinity Series. In his, I want to say short time, but if you really think about it, John Hunter, when you go back to when he was with Ganassi, he was with GMS when they had an Xfinity Series team, if you even remember that, has had success on a lot of the mile and a halves, and including Texas Motor Speedway. So John Hunter is rightfully so a heavy odds-on favorite. I haven't bet it yet. I'm going to see how much I am allowed to put on it. And I'm probably going to spread it out between a couple different books. But plus 250 is the best that I've seen courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook. And I'm going to hammer it. It's in the tweet. It's in the Instagram post when I got my little, my little sections of what we're talking about here. And right out the gate, we're talking about it with Xfinity. We're hammering John Hunter Nemechek. We are. We are absolutely hammering whatever it is, plus 250. Maybe you wait after qualifying, you get plus 300. If somebody like an Allgaier, Josh Berry comes out, wins the pole, maybe the track position's a little, he starts at the back end of the top 10. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, there's a chance you could wait. You get 3-1, plus 350. It is possible, but I think I'm going to be hammering John Hunter Nemechek. I've been avoiding the juice all year in the Xfinity Series. Can't do it anymore. I took the juice last week. Basically was a hedge to all my other losing bets with Justin Allgaier winning at Bristol. But this week, we're not going to have a very complicated betting card for Xfinity. It's going to be short. It's going to be small. It's going to be simple. and it's going to start with John Hunter Nemechek plus 250. Some other guys I like. Barstool, for whatever reason, until their impending doom comes true when they switch to ESPN Bet, have been giving us some better lines. Good example, Austin Hill. Let's talk about Austin Hill. The fact he won Las Vegas earlier this year, he's had really good mile-and-a-half speed. You look at the history book over the past 4 to 6 races here, RCR has had a pretty good package at Texas Motor Speedway. Anthony Alfredo, when he drove the 21 part-time, took the 21 to a top 3 finish. Austin Hill had a top 5 run here last year. Sheldon Creed had a top 10, a P7 here last year as well. And when you look at the intermediate speed, Austin Hill in 2023, he's had it. He has had it. He's been up there with John Hunter Nemechek, with the Gibbs guys, with the Justin Allgaiers. He's going to have speed this weekend, and he's looking for a big bounce back after being crashed by his teammate Sheldon Creed at Bristol. So I think RCR is going to be good. I think both RCR guys, Sheldon Creed included with Austin Hill, are going to be strong. I think Parker Kligerman could be worth something. Maybe not an outright bet, sitting at around 35, 40 to 1 on most books, but you find a top 5 on Kligerman at 4 to 1, 5 to 1, that could be worth something if you want to get away from the John Hunters and the Justin Allgaiers and the Austin Hills. But before I get too sidetracked, my point there before I started talking about these guys, Austin Hill, DraftKings is 6 to 1, or now plus 550. You look on Caesars, he's plus 650. Barstool, he's plus 700. 7 to 1, I think, is a good bet for Austin Hill. It's a bet I think I'd be willing to take before we get on track. I think Austin Hill is going to be a contender to win this race. I'm staying away from Justin Allgaier this week. We're flipping it around. Last week I told you guys on the program, you can't tell me I didn't. You can go back and watch it. I said, if we're talking favorites for the Xfinity Series race, do not take John Hunter Nemechek, take Allgaier, because Nemechek was the odds-on favorite, or at least a co-favorite, and I said you're going to have to pick one or the other here on your betting card. Take Allgaier. Take Allgaier plus money in a head-to-head matchup against Nemechek. Do everything you got to do to have Justin Allgaier on your card rather than John Hunter, and it was correct. I'm completely reversing roles here. If you can find a matchup with Nemechek versus Allgaier, and you don't have to pay too much juice, you know, like a minus 130, minus 125 on the side of John Hunter Nemechek, take that bet over Justin Allgaier all day ahead of this weekend. I'm already betting the John Hunter Nemechek plus 250, probably. I'm checking here on Bet Rivers to see what we got on their book. I hadn't even checked it. Have not even checked Bet Rivers for the Xfinity Series, and really nothing here better than what you can find on Barstool as I'm looking right now. So yeah, I'm all on the John Hunter Nemechek train this week, along with Austin Hill. The best I've seen on Austin Hill is plus 700, aka 7 to 1, over on Barstool Sportsbook. I'm on that all day. And then you go down this list. Sheldon Creed's 20 to 1, but you can get Sheldon Creed 22 to 1 over on Caesars, 28 to 1 over on DraftKings Sportsbook, and on Bet Rivers we're looking at, where is it? 28 to 1. So you can get 28 to 1 on an RCR teammate of Austin Hill, a guy that's been knocking on the door of getting that win. Mile and a half speed, mile and a half package, hasn't been as good as his teammate Austin Hill. So you got to consider that in how much you're going to put on Sheldon Creed if you want to do it. But maybe a top 3 at 7 to 1 could be in play. I like that value, and if you can find a top 5 around 3 to 1, 4 to 1, I think that could be worth something for Sheldon Creed. And that's really all I'm thinking regarding outrights, top 5s. But this is the most important part of your Xfinity betting card right here, right now. I told you, I'm going to be fading Justin Allgaier. Head to Caesar Sportsbook as soon as you can. The Andes Frozen Custard 300. Get there ASAP because I have a bet for you. This could be your entire betting card. You won't even have to worry about everything I've already said. They have only, at least in the state of Louisiana, top Chevrolet listed. They don't have top Ford. They don't have top Toyota. They never have top Ford, really, because there's like 2 legit competitive Fords in the field. Look at top Chevy. Justin Allgaier is plus 175 top Chevy. Can't do it. Last 5 Texas races, Justin Allgaier has been top Chevrolet 1 time at Texas Motor Speedway. One time. Not buying it. Not buying it. Austin Hill is plus 340 top Chevy. Josh Berry plus 380. Sheldon Creed 12-1. Chandler Smith 14-1. Those are the 4 guys I'm looking at for top Chevy. Not Allgaier plus 175. I'm willing to fade it to take Hill, Berry, Creed, and Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith is the one guy we hadn't talked about yet. Well, hadn't talked about Josh Berry either. Josh Berry should have won probably a couple races this year, most notably at Pocono, another intermediate style racetrack. Not similar to Texas, really, but mile-and-a-half speed. They've had the glimpses where every 3 or 4 mile-and-a-half races, every 3 or 4 intermediate races we come to, Josh Berry has the best car. I don't know what it is, but it happened last year at Charlotte. It happened last year Las Vegas around this time of year. He hasn't won in 2023. It happened earlier this year at Pocono. He's had some strong runs. He had a great car at Kansas, too, which John Hunter Nemechek waxed the field. Josh Berry, for a lot of that race, was in the top 3. Give me Josh Berry top Chevy, plus 380. Taking Hill, taking Josh Berry, taking Sheldon Creed, and Chandler Smith, I think, is an interesting one here. Not a lot of statistics to back up Chandler Smith. Should have won Las Vegas. We always bring that one up when we're talking intermediates. He gave it away on the last lap, 2 to go. Couldn't conserve enough tire when Austin Hill passed him. And he's kind of struggled on his last few intermediate racetracks. You look at his results at Michigan, Kansas, Pocono. Hasn't been great. Hasn't been great compared to where he started the year off, rookie in the Xfinity Series. But I've got this feeling. I've just got a feeling about Chandler Smith. I said that's it on outrights. I lied. I forgot about my guy Chandler Smith. You can get around 35-1 on Chandler Smith. 28-1 on DraftKings. Bet Rivers for Chandler Smith. We're looking at 7-1 top 3. Love that. He's priced in the same range as Sheldon Creed. So maybe I misread on 35-1. I think it was Caesars. Hold on. I'm going back and forth. No, it's 25-1. 25-1, 28-1 for Chandler Smith, I think, could be worth a bet. If you want an underdog bet, when you look back at Texas, A.J. Allmendinger in the number 16 car that he is now in had several good top 5 runs. Several good runs at these mile-and-a-half racetracks, and it wasn't just Texas. It was multiple tracks like Vegas, like Michigan. Consider Chandler Smith for an underdog bet, but to get back to this primary point here, take top Chevy, 4 guys. And one of them is going to hit. One of them is going to win top Chevy. You're going to take Austin Hill. You're going to take Josh Berry. You're going to take Sheldon Creed. And you're going to take Chandler Smith. And you're going to walk away with some money heading into Sunday. That's my prediction there. That is only available on Caesars Sportsbook. Top Chevy, 4 guys. Take the money and run. Because who the fuck knows what's going to happen on Sunday. That's what I got. Jay says, sounds like the new tire is going to be hard to avoid tire failures. Could be a race where a 2-tire or a no-tire late might be the play. Allgaier plus 450 is hard not to play in the Reese's paint scheme. I won't lie. Yeah, look, that Reese's paint scheme is hot, dude. Shades of like Kevin Harvick, number 21 back in the mid-2000s. Beautiful paint scheme. I do like that a lot. Has he won, though? Think about this. They run that Reese's paint scheme, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year. Have they won in that Reese's paint scheme yet? I don't think so. If they have, somebody correct me. Somebody correct me. It could be a curse. It could be a trap. The car looks so beautiful. You want to bet on it. You want to put the retirement fund on it. And then it just fucking stabs you in the back. That's kind of the feel I get, right? I get that feel. Hannah Racing, my first job ever was at Andy's. Interesting, okay. Yeah, they're with Anthony Alfredo. You know, Alfredo, good friend of the program. Follow each other on Instagram. I see his promos for Andy's. He's putting the work in with the Andy's Frozen Custard. And they have nice paint schemes, too. They've sponsored RCR over the years with Austin Dillon. May have done something with Tyler Reddick or Kyle Busch. Can't remember exactly, but I don't think I've ever had Andy's. I don't know where they have Andy's at because I sure as hell hadn't seen one in Mississippi. I know that. But cool sponsor entitlement. So we spent about 20 minutes talking Xfinity. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Absolutely, because pay the juice on John Hunter, and then you explore that top Chevy bet over on Caesar Sportsbook, and you call it a day. That's what I'm thinking for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Let's move to Cup. The NASCAR Cup Series. What's AutoTrader, EchoPark, Automotive 500, an absolute mouthful, of course. Once again, lines courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook. I haven't done a lot of scanning since Tuesday, right? I feel pretty content with what I have on my betting card up until we get to practice qualifying. I haven't seen anything that just blows my mind. I'm so concerned about the tire issue because of the way Texas is shaped. It's just, and look, we got it right at Bristol. We did get it right to a certain degree with no tire explosions. Now there was no tire wear, which is just typical of Goodyear. Great job. I expect no tire wear again on Sunday, and I feel worse about the tire condition this weekend than I did leading into last weekend, right? Because it was 100 times worse at Texas than it was anywhere in 2022 in the NASCAR Cup Series. So I haven't had anything else that has enticed me. And we have had some line movement, right? Like I got a Ryan Blaney bet at 14-1. I don't think you can find that anymore. I think now we're looking at 12-1, 14-1. I think 14 or 12-1 you can find on DraftKings still for Ryan Blaney. Nope, I'm looking at 10-1. As of last night, Blaney was still 12-1, at least on DraftKings, and he is now 10-1. So, been a lot of movement on Blaney. Bet Rivers, there it is. I'm looking at Bet Rivers right now. 12-1 is still available on driver number 12, Mr. Ryan Blaney, on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. So that's good. That's good. I would bet it down to 12-1. I really would. I'm on Ross Chastain, a guy that's also had a little bit of line movement as well. I got 22-1. I want to see if that is still available anywhere. He's 20-1 on Barstool Sportsbook. You're going to see on the bottom of your screen. 22-1 still is available on DraftKings. That's all you need to know. Grab it on DraftKings. I think this is kind of like some people would call it hopeless, because we know the speed just hasn't been there with Ross Chastain. There has been some regression with the Trackhouse program in 2023, and I think the writing was on the wall. I think I called it at the beginning of the year on Sirius XM Radio, and people thought I was a psychopath because Chastain went out to Fontana and waxed the field for 90% of the race. Well, guess what? Only one of their guys made the playoffs. Chastain only has one win to his name at this point compared to 2 in 2022. And the main reason I said Trackhouse would have regression was because Toyota was going to be way better. And they have. If you remember last year, Toyota was bad at a lot of different racetracks. They had mechanical failures. They had engine failures. They had power steering leaks. They had all sorts of gremlins in 2022. You knew Toyota was going to be better, and they were going to take top 5s away. They were going to take wins away. They were going to take top 10s away from Trackhouse because they were going to be substantially better than they were in 2022 once all the kinks were worked out of whatever was wrong with their program. And that is exactly what has happened. Denny Hamlin's had a great year. Martin Truex has had a great year. Christopher Bell's right up there in the mix as well. And 23XI has both of their guys in the playoffs. Not just in the playoffs, well into the round of 12. So Toyota has been really good. And that is why Trackhouse, or part of the reason why Trackhouse has been a little bit off. And I've been really concerned about the 1.5 mile speed, about the intermediate speed when you look at Ross Chastain. You want to throw Nashville in there, right? You want to say, okay, Nashville is like a 1.12 mile racetrack. It's technically an intermediate. It is the intermediate package that they ran there. And the more and more I look at data, I'm sitting here like, 2 of Ross Chastain's best runs of the season were Dover and Nashville. And both of those tracks are concrete. And ever since Nashville, it has not been great. It has not been great for Ross Chastain. I know he had another good run earlier this year at Kansas, at Fontana, but something is missing. Something is missing. I'm telling you every reason in the world to not bet on Ross Chastain. But I've already done it because these are the reasons why the books are fading him. I think Justin Marks is going to have something up his sleeve. Ty Norris, these guys are too good. They're too smart. They're going to have something up their sleeve here this weekend at Texas. Guarantee it. Watch out for Ross Chastain. If he doesn't have tire failure, tire problems, I think a top 5 run is in the cards. They're due. They're in the a big time heat of the moment level in the NASCAR playoffs. They made the Final Four last year. I expect Ross Chastain and the team to step up this weekend. So I'd bet 22-1. And the price definitely is enticing, right? Like if he was 15-1, 14-1, probably wouldn't bet it. I'd probably bet him down to 18-1 before we get to practice and qualifying. That's kind of where I'm at with Ross. I think they have potential to be competitive enough to where this 22-1 line could be an absolute steal before practice and qualifying hits on Sunday. So I'm on that as well, leading into practice and qualifying, which, by the way, I do want to talk about some qualifying bets. I got to give a shout out to Christopher Bell because he's saved my retirement fund with qualifying bets 2 weeks in a row and stage bets at Bristol. So a lot of people are hating on Christopher Bell. He did kind of give the win up at Bristol last week, which hurt me. It hurt my main card. It flopped outside of my stage bets, outside of my qualifying bets. But, what the fuck was I even about to say? Hold on. I forgot. I was talking about Christopher Bell. Oh, qualifying bets. Duh. You know what Garage Guy Chase says? Nobody's working the pole like C. Bell. And you could have a problem with that. That's fine, but he's right. He's absolutely right. I think we're looking at 4 consecutive poles in the intermediate style package for C. Bell. That's very impressive considering I don't even know if he had a pole at all earlier this year. And just been super, super hot in qualifying recently. I want to look at some qualifying bets. Here. And I'll be honest with you guys. It's like the second time I'm looking at them. I'm looking at them like brand new with you guys right here live. Because I want to see if I find anything that sticks out. And I want you guys to as well. Get your phone out. Get your desktop out. Second monitor. Head over to Caesars. Head over to Bet Rivers. Bet365. Whoever else has qualifying bets. And let's check them out. I got Bet Rivers pulled up right now. And I got Caesars pulled up. I'm in the process of it. Here we go. Qualifying bets on Caesars. Boom. Fastest qualifier. What do we like in here? I don't think Christopher Bell wins another one. I'll go ahead and tell you right now. I don't think we see Bell grab 5 in a row on this particular package. Just don't think it happens. It's so rare to make that happen. I mean, that is like Ryan Newman 2003, 2004 level type shit if you're able to make that happen 5 times in a row with the same aero package. Don't like it. I'll tell you one guy I think I will bet on, though. There's one guy. Only guy that sticks out. And it's not the greatest price. I'll say 2 guys. One I really like the price of. And he's been a hot topic in my other live streams I've been doing over on Kick, where I've been doing my iRacing streams. People want to come in and talk bets. They want to talk about who you think is going to win Texas. Kyle Busch, 11-1 to win the pole. Remember, Kyle Busch has been good at anything that isn't a short track package, and he wasn't good at Bristol last week. There's been some of those races in between where RCR has just kind of missed it, right? Just totally missed it. Kyle Busch 11-1 for the pole. I think with this 8 car that was excellent at qualifying at intermediates in 2022, and it's had some glimpses of that this year. Texas, I think Kyle Busch could be a play at 11-1 to win the pole. Lucas Vick says, I like Ford for qualifying. Sam says, I live in Michigan. What track should I go to? Kansas, Pocono, or Indianapolis? Indianapolis. 100% Indianapolis. Indy's like my second home. I go to Indy every single year for the 500. I'm typically there for the NASCAR race as well. And when the Brickyard 400 comes back and they announce that, I'll be there for that too. So I'll be in Indy at least twice next year. It is phenomenal. Got to go to Indianapolis. The fan experience there is absurd. Now, look, I've never gone to Kansas. I've never gone to Pocono. I've heard mixed things. Obviously, the racing is really strong at Kansas. Pocono, I've heard, is like a big party on the infield. But if I had to tell you, I think Indianapolis is tough to beat. So I hope I answered that question okay. Been feeling Chastain. You never know when Trackhouse is going to bring speed this year. Got to know when to fold. We're parking the Reese's for this weekend. Don't sleep. Shit. Okay, well, look, you guys never answered me. Am I correct in saying that Allgaier has not won in that Reese's paint scheme? Somebody's got to tell me. Somebody's got to look it up and let me know. Because I really don't think he has. That's what I'm thinking. Somebody find out. I need somebody to be a Dalescenter research expert here and fucking look it up. All right? I'm counting on you guys. I need you to get involved here. It helps the program out. It helps everybody out. I want winners. I'm like Chip Ganassi. I need to know if that Reese's paint scheme is a winner. If he hasn't won in that Reese's car yet, it's cursed. That's what I'm thinking. It's too beautiful to win. You ever had a paint scheme that's too beautiful to win? Yes, absolutely. Too beautiful to win. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to talk about it anymore until somebody answers that question for me. Looking at qualifying bets, two guys that stick out. Talked about Kyle Busch, William Byron. William Byron has arguably been more consistent than anybody in just qualifying at any type of racetrack in 2023. And it's been a William Byron year. I mean, just a phenomenal year for Benjamin Bill. He's won a bunch of races. He's been up front. I really like William Byron to win the pole at that price. And honestly, maybe we get a back-to-back here for Brad K. Brad K was a pole sitter in this race last year. Had some good speed. And last year was weird because Brad K and RFK had not had hardly any good runs on the mile and a halves in 2022. They were not good at the 1.5s. They just weren't. The program was fresh. They didn't have the speed. They had some glimpses at the shorter tracks, but they were not great at the mile and a halves. This time around, it's been an absolute 180 on the season with RFK. And Brad K went out here and shocked everybody with a pole position run. I think if I had to take three guys for Cup Series qualifying, we're going to take Brad K, we're going to take Kyle Busch, and we're going to take William Byron. That feels like a really strong core three. I think they use that term in DFS, but I'm going to use it here for your qualifying bets. That seems like a really strong core to win the pole. Willie B at 6-1, Brad K at 8-1, Kyle Busch 11-1, and that's really all I'm feeling on qualifying bets. And all three of those prices I just told you are available via Caesars Sportsbook. Tread lightly. Qualifying sucks sometimes. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? And with Texas being the wild card that it is, I don't know. I kind of look at it as an opportunity, though, because if the race is a shit show with massive tire failures and explosions, you're going to be happy if you win that qualifying, because then you can go light on Cup Day on Sunday. You can go light on Sunday if you win Xfinity, you win qualifying. You don't have to worry too badly about having your money, your retirement fund dictated on whose tires can not explode. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. That seems like a way to view qualifying this weekend. And I'm just feeling confident about it. I'm feeling confident about it because we've had good qualifying betting cards. Second half of the year. I've had a great second half of the year when it comes to Cup. My last 8 to 10 weeks in Cup Series betting have been really strong if you look at the full package of not just the full card when it comes to race winners, outrights, or top threes, top fives, head-to-head matchups, but when you throw in stage bets, when you throw in qualifying bets, when you throw everything together, my Cup Series betting has had a tremendous turnaround towards the end of 2023. Last week at Bristol, we basically had a push because we flopped the main card. But guess what? We won qualifying. We won stages because of Christopher Bell. So the whole package needs to be used here to your advantage as well on achieving profitability. But I think it could be a shit show. So tread lightly in anything you do regarding the Cup Series this weekend. Let's get to Garage Guy Chase right now. I don't have it mixed up this time. I'll go ahead and tell you. I don't have it mixed up this time. Last week, kind of messed it up. I'll read you guys' chats real quick before we get to Garage Guy Chase in Chase for the Cup. Sam says he's sold on coming to Indy. Best place to stay if I can't get a hotel in Indianapolis. Ooh, You should be able to get a hotel. book it in advance. You should be able to get a hotel somewhere around downtown. I'm trying to think of what is bordering 20, 30 minutes. There are some spots 20, 30, 40 minutes away, though. I don't know the exact names of the cities, but I do know people that stay outside of Indy 20, 30 minutes away. I stay in Speedway. I stay right next to the racetrack, so I'm not super good help on that front. I'm good help in telling you it's fucking electric. It's a lot of fun. It's totally worth every dime that you spend. But maybe when it comes to lodging, I'm not an expert. Crawfordsville. Okay, yeah, Crawfordsville is close. I think Crawfordsville is actually within like 20 minutes of the racetrack. I got an Airbnb for Indy for this most recent race for a pretty good price. There you go. Best Western half an hour from Indianapolis. There you go. Hey, appreciate you guys helping my guy Sam out there. Yeah. Dalescenter chat's being real helpful. I appreciate it. You guys keep talking. Help each other out. Do what you got to do to help each other get to the racetrack. I love that. That's what we try to do here. That's what you guys can do here in this chat. Right here, right now. See, okay, yeah, Germ Boy. Harvick has put Reese's. I know that. They ran a few primaries from like 06 to 08, I believe, on the 29 car. Maybe more. Maybe the span is a little bit longer there. I know 2006 for sure. Kevin Harvick had a lot of Reese's paint schemes, but I'm talking Xfinity, the 21 car. And no, I'm not even talking about Harvick. What are we doing? I know that car is beautiful, but Kevin Harvick, different time. We're talking fucking 15, 20 years ago. I'm talking as Justin Allgaier won in that Reese's paint scheme. Best place to sit. I sit in turn 3. So imagine you're sitting right here. This is turn 3. You're the racetrack. I'm sitting in the seats. To your left, you see the whole backstretch, right? So for the Indy 500, you see the Indy cars come off of turn 2 all the way down the backstretch, which is the best passing zone. And it probably will be the same way for the Cup Series because it's just the best place to pass. It's a wide straightaway. They can go 4 wide, 5 wide. See them right in front of you, head into turn 3, off of turn 3, into turn 4, and then you lose them down the back or down the front stretch, and you can look at the screen to watch them go on the front stretch and into turn 1. Turn 3, I think, at Indianapolis is the best seat in the house. That's my opinion. I've been sitting there for 12 years, whatever. Check it out. All right, let's get to Chase for the Cup. What time is it? It is 6:21. I've got a Thursday Night Football betting card for you guys as well. It's all Degenerate Dale touchdown bets. But the Tanhart Triple Crown, remember, I'm not interested in betting on Netflix racing. That's not going to happen. We bet on real sports. You know what I mean? We bet on real sports. We don't bet on Netflix racing. I know a lot of you guys do, and I hope you win money, but I bet on real sports, not Netflix racing, a.k.a. Formula One. We bet on legitimate sports, legitimate motorsports. So my point here is there's no trucks. IndyCar's done. So for the Tanhart Triple Crown Parlay, it includes a football bet for tonight to go with Xfinity and Cup. That will be revealed later in the program. But right now, as I said, Ryan Blaney's going to be a talking point. Me and Garage Guy Chase talked about him on Monday on the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast. I've already talked about him here. You guys are talking about him in the chat. And Garage Guy Chase, I think, in the newest segment of Chase for the Cup, is going to talk about him again.
Hello, I'm Chase Holden, and this is Chase for the Cup, where we are about to dive into my favorite betting picks for the AutoTrader EchoPark Automotive 400 this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway. Keep in mind that these picks are pre-practice and qualifying, and if you want to check out my picks after practice and qualifying, which there will be more, all right, don't sleep. There will be more. Action Network is where you're going to find that. You can check the link in the description of this video, and you'll be able to click on that, go directly to my action page, and tail all the bets that I'm writing for this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series race at Texas Motor Speedway. So let's dive into it. The AutoTrader EchoPark Automotive 400. Kind of a mouthful. That's fine. It's Texas. Everything's bigger. These are normal things. I want to start off by talking about where I will be placing these bets. The majority of them are going to be on MGM Sportsbook this week. I rarely bet MGM, but their lines are a lot better than some of the other popular books that I typically bet on, such as FanDuel and Caesars. First bet that I have to give you guys this week is the bet that I took first thing right off the bat on the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast. It's Ryan Blaney. I was able to grab Ryan at 15-1 on Caesars when he opened up early this week. Now you can get him at 12-1 on MGM Sportsbook. Look, I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I'm throwing a unit down on this play. 1 unit to win 15 units for me. If you decide to use the same unit allocation, that's going to be 1 unit to win 12 units for you, okay? And the reason why I love this, he's won at Charlotte. He won a Coke 6 this year, right? All right. He's finished 13th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He finished 12th at Kansas. Maybe didn't have the momentum that he was hoping for at those other intermediate tracks, but there's something about Texas, and it shows when you look at the stats. Now, keep in mind, we're not really digging back any further than 2022, but when you take a look at what he's been able to accomplish here, he finished first in the All-Star race in 2022, fourth last year in this race, and he's only had one finish outside of the top 10 since 2017. If that doesn't tell you that he is a good Texas driver, I don't know what will. This is Ryan's track. Right now, he's sitting right outside of that comfortable zone in the NASCAR playoffs. He's got to get a win to lock himself into the next round. The only driver left for Team Penske, it's his time. Don't be an idiot. Bet on Ryan Blaney. Next bet that I have. This one's a little bit more narrative-wise because the recent performance with this guy hasn't been that great, okay? We did see him get a top 10 finish at Kansas, which made me feel a little bit better after him having to work his way through the field. If a similar situation arises this weekend, maybe it'll be something to look at. Kyle Busch. You can grab him right now, 14-1 on MGM Sportsbook. He won at Auto Club earlier this year, finished 7th at Kansas, as I said before, 14th at Las Vegas, and 6th at Charlotte. When I look at a record like Kyle Busch's and just the career of Kyle Busch, you don't want to believe that he is going to find his way out of the playoffs. But guess what? It's happened before, and I remember the one race that I've been talking about the majority of the week that is just really coming to mind for me in relation to him winning at Texas this weekend was the race where he was not in the playoffs, won in the Skittles Zombie car at Texas. Everyone thought he was going to go winless that year. He turned it around at Texas. Maybe this is going to be a weekend where we see Kyle Busch and Richard Childress Racing turn it around and take the 8 into the round of 8. Let's see if it can happen. Again, I like that one. I would say to put 1 unit down on that play as well. I'm feeling frisky. 1 unit to win 14 units on MGM Sportsbook. The next bet that I have, this one is a little bit more of a long shot. You know, all of my picks at the end of the day, tail it or don't, I don't care. But my long shot this weekend, it's a little bit more based on narrative and also some recency bias. Christopher Buescher, 17-1 on MGM Sportsbook. I love this line. He qualified 13th last year when RFK was still kind of halfway dog shit. I really like that they've been able to turn it around. The man's got 3 wins. He is in the playoffs. First time in this man's life. He's found a way and he's got a stride, and he actually has a car that I believe can get him there. Granted, the Fords have not been that great at the intermediate tracks. They've had some struggles. They've been kind of mediocre and decent. But this man from Prosper, Texas, okay, and it's 17-1, I'm willing to dabble a little bit on that. I'm comfortable maybe throwing about half a unit to 0.75 units on this play, not going a full unit on it. However, I do think that there is a great shot for Chris Buescher, a.k.a. Christopher Buescher from Prosper, Texas, to possibly get a win at his home track this weekend. Do it for Terry. To close up, I have two top 10 bets that I want to give you guys this week. The first one is Eric Jones plus 250 on FanDuel Sportsbook. I like this bet simply because where the fuck did Eric Jones come from at Kansas? The man came out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on with legacy. I have a conspiracy that Jimmy Johnson, ever since Le Mans, he learned something about this car. He's brought it back. You see Carson Hocevar up here contending for top 10 finishes. You see Eric Jones doing the same. Eric Jones is the guy that I believe in out of that group, and I like him this weekend to try to roll through and get that top 10. If there's anybody that's going to do it at this track, it's going to be Eric Jones, and that's mainly because when you look back at his past, back before he was with Joe Gibbs Racing, you know, he had a 6th place finish. Does it matter? No. Chase, why are you still talking? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a shit. You're right. 2022, you looking back, you can't really take much data from the All-Star races, but we can say that he finished 6th here in 2022. I like Eric Jones for the top 10 plus 250. Give me a unit and a half on that play. And to round it off, this one I find insane. Ross Chastain, even money for a top 10 on FanDuel. Dale and I both spoke about this on the podcast. Dale came out and said that's his guy this week. He's got a feeling about Ross Chastain. I don't know if I'm ready to pull the trigger on the outright, but I will say that with Ross being in the playoffs, knowing that he's going to have to make something happen this round, it would be crazy to think that Justin Marks and the whole entire Trackhouse organization aren't going to come to play, at least for a top 10, at least to coast in on points for another weekend. Give me Ross Chastain even money, 2 units on the play. This has been Chase for the Cup, going over the NASCAR Cup Series race at Texas Motor Speedway this weekend. Happy betting. Go get them fucking NAS bags. Let's go.
Microsoft, there you have it. That is Garage Guy Chase with the newest edition of Chase for the Cup. 2 things here. Let's do Wall of Dale. The Wall of Dale has been somewhat quiet as of recent. I think let's do the same thing we did. The first round I used it to predict my first 4 out. We got 3 for 4 right. My first 4 out predictions were McDowell, Stenhouse, Logano, and Tyler Reddick. Kevin Harvick is out instead. Hate it. Which, by the way, speaking of Kevin Harvick, that was the one outright didn't get to. I do have a small outright bet at Kevin Harvick, 35-1. Kind of a narrative play, kind of a statistical play when you look at what Harvick has done at Texas in his time at Stewart-Haas Racing. Has won, led a lot of laps. It'd be kind of ironic if after everybody counts him out, the energy's out, everything's deflated after he missed the playoffs or missed the second round of the playoffs. Everybody's so disappointed, right? We're so disappointed in what happened. He comes out here and he wins Texas. Don't rule it out. Ford has made big improvements on the mile and a half with Blaney, Brad, Harvick, Buescher, Blaney and Buescher in specific getting intermediate wins at Michigan and Charlotte, which, you know, Michigan is a Ford-owned racetrack. It doesn't matter how bad their package is. They somehow find a way to win Michigan anyway. But they have made strides as a program. When you compare them to Gibbs, Hendrick, they've had speed, particularly with RFK and Ryan Blaney. But you just never know. It's kind of a narrative play. Kevin Harvick, keep him in your mind, 35-1 heading into the weekend. We're going to do first 4 out. And I don't know how much I've thought about this. First 4 out in this round of the playoffs. There's one guy right there. All right, I know I really. There's a chance I bet on him, which, you know, last time we did bet on Tyler Reddick to win, even though I thought he'd be one of the first 4 out, but he just had a really good round. So doesn't mean I'm not betting on him. You know, there's a big difference. I got everybody's picture right here. There's Brett Moffitt, great mustache. I know one guy I'm taking to be one of the first 4 out. I've already got him put to the side. I will say, man, like when you get to this point of the playoffs, all betting aside, this is a really good top 12. I mean, this is a very competitive top 12 group of drivers. I mean, very, very competitive. This is when it gets tough to really predict who will miss. There's always going to be one shocker, right? There's always going to be a shocker that nobody would expect, and partially because of the calamity of this round, right? I talked about it earlier. It is a fun round. Talladega, there's going to be wrecks. Somebody's going to get put in a precarious spot after that race, and then Roval is the cutoff race. You know, the Roval's always crazy. Not everybody is good at road courses, so it is a tough round. I think there is going to have to be somebody that is a surprise that gets eliminated. There's going to have to be somebody. Now, picking who it is the really fucking difficult part. I got one guy that I picked who I don't think would be a huge surprise. I think this guy, like, if he doesn't win at Texas, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble if he doesn't win at Texas. All right, I've got two guys picked out. These guys are eliminated. Get them out of here. He's eliminated. Get him out. He's going to make it. All right, I got my 4. Oh, wait, no, that's 3. Fuck. This is what's hard, man. I'm trying to pick one more guy that I think isn't going to make it. There's always going to be that one shocker. All right, here we go. This is going to be very, very controversial. Controversial. All right. My predictions for the next 4 out. 4 guys that miss the round of 8. I'm going to go back to back. Look, he's a good friend of the Garage Guys. Good friend of the program. I love my guy. But I'm going to go 2 weeks in a row. I think it's been a great year. But I don't think this is potentially a really bad round for these guys. I think Tyler Reddick is not going to make the top 8. I hope he proves me wrong because I love him. But I got to go with what I feel, what I think. I think Tyler Reddick will be eliminated at the end of this round. Remember, they're not really dead to Dale, but they are just... I'm using that as the slot of, like, not advancing. You know what I mean? Next guy. I think this is a bad round for this driver, too. I think he really needs to come out here and win at Texas. And he did win the Roval last year, which is at the end of this round. I think Christopher Bell for Joe Gibbs Racing is going to be the odd JGR driver out after this round. He's been awesome in qualifying, but when you put the full package together, they have not had the long run speed at a lot of the racetracks compared to their teammates. Christopher Bell will be eliminated. I'm being really tough on the Toyotas. You know, I talked them up earlier. Did talk them up earlier. But we're about to eliminate another one. And I think this is one that people are going to write off for sure. Because it's his first time in the NASCAR playoffs. And it's been a good year. I think these guys, they're going to have to win Talladega if they want to advance. And that is Bubba Wallace. Good year. But I think both 2311 guys are going to be eliminated after the Roval. And then the last guy. This is the one that I talked about earlier. Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch has not been good enough. I know he won Dega. He's had some good road course runs. Mile and a halves have been kind of back and forth. I think Kyle Busch not going to make it. Not going to advance to the top 8. So that is my 4. Look, here's the thing. No matter who you pick, if you publicly give your picks out and people see them, there's going to be one guy on that list that they're going to look at you and be like, you're an idiot for that. I'm telling you, every year it happens. There's going to be a surprise guy. that gets eliminated. The one guy I was thinking about saying, who I think is going to be the Martin Truex of this round, is Denny Hamlin. Mark my words. If there's another guy that I was really close for me to pick, Denny Hamlin. I think the obvious answer people are going to put in there for is Brad K, because they think, okay, mile and a half's have been whatever. He could win Talladega for sure, but we go to the Charlotte Roval, and you know Brad K is going to struggle. But I think Brad Keselowski is going to win Talladega for sure. No doubt in my mind, Brad K wins Dega next weekend. So that's why I'm not picking Brad K. RFK is in a really good spot right now. They've had a lot of good runs at a lot of different types of racetracks. They've got speed, and they've got the Jimmy Johnson power, which is getting hot at the right time. That's what Jimmy Johnson did 6 years in the OG Chase format. Got hot at the right time and just waxed the field in the postseason. That's kind of where I'm at with RFK, which is why I think both of their guys get into the top 8. So there you have it. My vote is Truex, okay? A 1.5 on a road course, and you're picking Red Dog to be eliminated. Come on, Dale. Well, that's what I just said, didn't I? No matter who you pick, you're going to have somebody say something you pick is stupid. So, we'll see. We will see. This is not just a 1.5, though. This is a 1.5 that has the potential to be the biggest crapshoot in the series all year long because of the potential tire issue. So, K. Gavin says KFB, Busher, Ross, Bell. Matt Jones says Bell, Bubba, Bush, Chastain. Germboy has Bell, Bubba, Reddick, and Truex. Just completely decimating the Toyota camp. My guy Germboy is. I respect it. Okay, let's move on here. We're going to wrap this show up here shortly with the Tanhart Triple Crown. Want to let everybody get to their Thursday night football matchup, the Giants and the 49ers. Speaking of that, the first bet, I teased it earlier. George Kittle is going to score a touchdown tonight. Plus 160, plus 170 is what I'm seeing. It's logged on my Action Network account. Degenerate Dale is back with touchdown bets. I think that George Kittle, and now Brandon Ayuk is out, who has been, McCaffrey's, of course, is a touchdown machine. But the receiver that's been the red zone volume guy for the 49ers has been Brandon Ayuk. He's not playing tonight. Going to open up an opportunity for George Kittle. Going to open up an opportunity for Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo could be a good bet for a first touchdown, for anytime touchdown, for 2+ touchdowns. But I'm not betting him because I have Deebo Samuel in fantasy, and my fantasy football luck has been fucking terrible over the past year, including last week. I lost by 0.15 points because Deshaun Watson could not get 5 more yards on that final drive. So don't take Deebo Samuel. Don't do it. Look, take it. I think it's a good bet, but because of my juju, I'm not taking it. Just letting you know about that before you put the house on Deebo. You got to know about the juju narrative here. The juju factor is not good in Deebo Samuel's favor. Take George Kittle. Maybe something on Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback. I got him first touchdown, 35-1. Could be something. I love a good fullback touchdown. Maybe we get that tonight. But talking about this parlay in particular, it's possible through Caesars Sportsbook. It's a Kittle anytime touchdown. It is a space. What is it? I hadn't bet this yet, but I was putting shit together and I really fucking liked it. Oh yes, William Byron. This is the lock of the century. I'm thinking about putting the actual retirement fund on this bet on Caesars. Caesars Sportsbook just last week, a couple weeks ago, debuted their qualifying matchups. Byron over Bowman minus 210. You got to pay the juice, but dear God, this is absolutely worth it. William Byron minus 210 to qualify better than Alex Bowman is one of the greatest locks I've ever seen. Ever. This is nothing close, and this is why, all right? How many times have you seen, like, Kyle Larson or even Xfinity? You can look right now. John Hunter Nemechek's minus 220 for a top 5. That is not a lock. That is not a lock at all. Sometimes Kyle Larson will come out, practice, fastest in practice, qualify on the pole, minus 220 for a top 5. Fuck, I've seen like minus 400 for a top 5 on some of these guys. Those are not even near close to a lock. Especially when you compare it to this right here. Byron over Bowman? Holy shit, dude. Are you serious? Minus 210? This should be minus 500. This should be minus 500. You got to hammer this. Put it in a parlay. Love it. And then the other bet to close out the Tan Hart Triple Crown parlay is an Austin Hill top 5. I think Austin Hill has got to have a bounce back. He's going to have a bounce back. Been one of the best Xfinity race car drivers in the field this year. He was the regular season champion. And RCR has brought some good race cars, good packages to Texas over the years. Austin Hill's had enough success on the mile and a half, on the intermediates with wins, top 5s, top 3s. There's enough for me here to say that Austin Hill top 5 is a great bet at what you can get it at, which is around even money. Love that bet. Put them all together, and you've got the Tan Hart Triple Crown parlay of the weekend. A little bit of NFL action tonight, Thursday night, booked with 2 NASCAR bets. I love this parlay. Plus 633. Love this parlay. I will bet this as soon as I log off here. So that's where I'm at. K. Gavin, yeah, let's go. We got Juice first TD. Matt Jones has Kittle locked in. K. Gavin's got Elijah Mitchell last touchdown. Okay. Hey, what's up, Phil Carl? 2311 sucks at road courses. Kind of agree. They have not been great. I think Tyler Reddick had a really good shot to win at Chicago. And really, that's... Oh, and he won at Coda. Yeah, he was great at Coda. Other than that, been inconsistent, right? I think he was good at the Glen. Had a top 5 run. You know, back into the top 5. Back into the top 5 at Indy as well. But don't think they've had the winning speed. And the Roval is just more of that calamity-style race. And now, NASCAR's genius decision to get rid of the stage breaks got to have a factor in how that race plays out with chaos. So I just don't think Tyler Reddick's going to make the top 8. Can I just say that? Can I make that? Byron over Bowman plus Reddick over Harvick plus 120. Yeah, I like that. John Little backs it up. Reddick over Harvick is decent too. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, you're probably not going to have a lot of tire problems in one lap of qualifying. You're probably going to have a shit ton of tire problems in 300, 400 laps of racing. Look at qualifying bets as an opportunity this weekend. I think if you could put 500, if you could put 5 units, 10 units on that Byron over Bowman bet, I would do it all day. All day. And then you can just call it a weekend. You know? Get in the recliner, put your feet up, and just enjoy the rest of the weekend after you hit that bet. That's a fucking lock, dude. That is a fucking lock. I think I'm going to claim that as lock of the universe. It's going to be like my 6th lock of the universe of the year. Going to have to. I love the Byron over Bowman. But that's going to be it, guys. No top plays this weekend. Too much chaos on the Cup side. Too much potential chaos on the Cup side for me to sit here and lock in a bunch of just really, really strong Cup bets. I just don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't like the lines very much outside of what I've already got, which every bet I've made, the 3 outrights I've already talked about, Blaney, Chastain, Harvick, they're 14-1 or cheaper. So there's nothing else I want to bet at this point before practice, before qualifying, when we're talking about the Cup Series, Xfinity Series. I already told you, lay the juice on Nemechek. Check out the top Chevy prop. Fade Justin Allgaier on the top Chevy deal. And that's where we're going to end this program. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope everybody has a fun weekend. Make the best of it. Make the best of it. We know Texas is what it is. Let's try to have a good weekend. Enjoy the Formula One Netflix racing as well, along with college football Saturday, NFL Sunday. It is still a packed sports weekend, and hopefully you'll be watching NASCAR on Saturday and Sunday and have a profitable weekend on your bets. I think we'll have a NASCAR betting podcast update after qualifying for Texas. That'll be out Sunday morning. Otherwise, you know where to follow me: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, at Dale Tanhart. Kick.com, probably going to have a couple iRacing streams mixed in over the next couple days. Tune in for that to see pure iRacing greatness and dominance. It's not even close. You're looking at the greatest iRacer in the history of the universe, and NASCAR better as well. So check out everything we got. Most of that shit is in the link below, or in all the links below. And then check out everything we got going on at the dailydownforce.com, including my new Only Dales blog segment. I fill you up with information, NASCAR content created by Dale, for Dales. That's all I got for you. I'm very winded. We talked a lot on this program. Went just over an hour, hour 15. Hope you guys enjoyed all the information we got to talk about here on Dalescenter. Have a great weekend. Make it a profitable one. Make sure you have a good time and you enjoy it. I'll see you guys later.